Right, well, it is time for a proper test of the Supra. It's going on its first road trip since the ITB conversion. We are going on holiday to Wales, a little place called Llanon. No idea if that's pronounced correctly, so apologies to any Welsh people. It's basically south of Aberystwyth, so we'll go via the Brecon Beacons, and I think it's called the Y area of national beauty or outstanding beauty. I don't really know what it's called. Good old journey in the car. It will really give us a chance to sort of flesh it out, see if there's any problems that I need to iron out. I know that there's a bit of a squeaking brake issue, which seems to be the same on the Civic as well. Not really much I can do about that before the journey, so we'll see if it sorts itself out before then. I thought it'd be quite interesting to see sort of the luggage capability of the Supra. So we've packed quite heavily for the week. So we've got quite a lot in there. So we've got my backpack, we've got 2 wheelie bags, another Sainsbury's bag for life, laptop, jacket. And then in the back we've got more bits of food and my camera bag and again more jackets and things. So it is a proper test of the Supra. I have done road trips before in it. We went to Paris in it before and it didn't miss a beat. The only problem is the heating issue in that it only blows hot or cold air and it's only at the lowest speed, so that is a little bit annoying. At the moment the weather is freezing, so we can just stick it on the hot setting and be on our merry way. Okay, so you join us in Wales. We're in the foothills of the Brecon Beacons National Park. I have to say so far I've been a little bit disappointed with the roads. They haven't been really as dynamic as I thought they might be. This little stretch here is quite good. It's at a place just after a town called Halfway, ironically. It's not actually halfway, 3/4 of the way. So we're about 3 hours into the journey now. One thing that has become very apparent is the obscene amount of fuel that this car is using. Rear is not very happy in the background, the amount of fuel that we're using. That's just how it is now with fuel prices and with this car being a bit thirsty anyway. Yeah, we stopped at a nice pub called the Golden Heart Inn, which was just north of Cirencester, south of Gloucester, I think, in the Cotswolds. It was a lovely pub. I would recommend if anyone's in the area to head that way. I should also say thank you to Ria in the passenger seat for holding the camera for me. I haven't brought enough suction mounts for the windows, so Ria is camera woman for the day and doing a stellar job. So in terms of the car, as I mentioned before, there is a little bit of a brake squeak coming in. I do need new front brakes anyway. I seem to forever be buying brakes on all my cars, but I definitely need new front brakes on the car. It's something that Jay actually pointed out. This is JM, so he did a video recently on my car and he did point out that the brakes need doing as well. It wants bigger brakes. They're only 2-pot J-spec brakes. They're not really up to a lot, to be honest. It is something I want to do in the future. I want to get some big K-Sport brakes on there. They are quite a good value, so I will probably put them on in the future. All in all, the car is a great grand touring car. I think it's quite comfortable. Ria is shaking her head in the background there, but she has been falling asleep in the car, so that kind of tells you everything you need to say. Or maybe it tells you more about Ria, I don't know. The seats I think are more comfortable than the Civic. The Type R seats are quite hard, they're quite firmly padded. They're a bit better around the track, so they're a bit more figure hugging. These are a little bit sort of softer and yeah, more Grand Tourer spec. Okay, so we made it to sunny Llanon. Again, apologies if I got that wrong. I was kind of expecting the area over the Brecon Beacons to be quite exciting, quite technical, with some, you know, amazing vistas and things. It was quite nice. The views were pretty, but the bends were very sort of sweeping. It wasn't a particularly technical road. It was the A40. I probably could have gone off on some back roads and, you know, taken some of the sort of top gear routes, but they were kind of taking me in the opposite direction to the way I needed to go, and we were on a bit of a time scale. So I did find it quite interesting after having watched JM's video on my car. Again, I will put a link in the description below if you've not seen that. It is a fantastic review of the ITB Supra. He kind of goes into it from not having only driven one Supra before. He drove a twin turbo auto, so it's quite an interesting comparison for him, especially as he drives so many cars for his reviews. He's posting 3 or 4 reviews on cars a week, and filming even more than that. He found it to be a little bit more of a sports car than a Grand Tourer, whereas I kind of said the opposite in my video when I took it up to the Cat and Fiddle a few months ago. The only thing is that I can compare it to is the Civic, obviously, and in comparison to the Civic, it's a very different way of driving. Obviously a little less kind of sporty, but equally the Civic has an electric rack, so it is hard to compare the two. The Supra's steering does feel a lot better, but the weight of the car, you can feel that through the bends. The only thing I can sort of take away from this is that obviously the sound is unbelievable, so every time you put your foot on the throttle it is incredible. The fuel consumption is a killer for these long journey trips, so that is something I'm going to have to bear in mind if I'm ever doing a European trip in the future. So anyway, I'm here in Wales. We're here on holiday, so I'm hoping we're going to take a few journeys out and around. I'll try and find some nice roads and film a little bit on those nice roads and enjoy the holiday, and I'll keep you posted. So here I am at the horse racing. I'm at Ffos in southern Wales. It's about an hour journey from where we're staying in Llanon, and it's a lovely little race course. It's very, very windy, so apologies if you can't hear me very well. I have got wind socks on the mics, but I don't know if it'll make a lot of difference really, but you can see the course behind me. So I'm going to place a few bets on some horses, lose probably all my money, and call it a day there. What happened on that one? Who won?
Maritimo.
Maritimo.
And then I come second. With Darwin.
We had Maritimo on the...
Oscar won 20 quid.
£20. £20.
Brothers won. We've all won a little bit on the syndicate. Quick put wins.
I don't know. Did I win?
Yeah.
I won £11. I am rich.
Number 3 wins. I had number 6, which had a bit of a stinker, bless him. We had number 3 on our syndicate though, so I think we won twice on the syndicate, which nowhere near covers the amount that we put in, but anyway. Come on, 4! He's in the lead.
He's going to win, he's going to win.
6th race in, and we finally got a win. Good old Moorzook. Moorzook, never doubt a Moorzook. I don't know what one of them is, but never doubt one. We had 5 on Moorzook at 5 to 1, it's £30. So I'm now less down than I was. We just stopped at Kidwelly Castle, just on the way back as we drove pretty much right past it. Quite a nice looking castle, so we're going to go check it out. Quite an impressive castle. You can't actually go in there because it's ticketed and they're not open. It seems that pretty much everything in Wales seems to close at about 2 or 3 PM. Even the Chippy closes at like 8 PM. I mean, actually see it. We are on the way home. Holiday is over. It's been a delightful time in Wales. We had a great time at the races. We explored various different towns and villages and things. Got to go on a nice little railway journey alongside the valleys from Aberystwyth, so that was great fun. I thought on the way back it would be a good opportunity to go try and find some particularly good roads. So we are here at the Black Mountain Pass, or Black Mountain Road, the A4069. It's a, I believe, quite a famous road that Top Gear and the like use as their test routes and stuff for their, you know, nice shots of their cars and things. So yeah, we're just going to take a little journey down here and see what it's all about. Top of the Black Mountain Pass. It's an incredible bit of road actually. Really enjoyed going up and down, just getting a few little shots for the channel. I've just been told there's some supercars on the way up the hill, so I'll try and get a couple of shots as they come past. Those R8 sounded very nice indeed. We're going to head back now to home. I'll do a quick little wrap up when I get home of how much fuel I think I've used and just thoughts in general about the trip. I think this has definitely been a highlight, this little road here. It's a shame I didn't come this way on the way here, to be honest, but yeah. So anyway, I'll pick up with you when I get back home. I think that's one of the first times I've actually managed to get the Civic and the Supra parked up alongside each other. Lovely little duo, those two cars. So it's the day after I got back from Wales. Obviously the car made it back. There wasn't really much doubt of that, to be honest. It is a bit of a trooper. It had a minor thing with the brakes, that the brakes were quite squeaky occasionally. That was quite annoying. I do want to put on some big brakes, but I need to work out what to do in terms of clearance, because there's not a lot. You can possibly see there is not a lot of clearance there. So I need to work out what to do there. A couple of spaces in there. Hopefully 20mm spaces should be okay. I don't think then I've got to worry about arch gap. I don't know. It's getting a bit tight, isn't it? But anyway, I'll try some 20mm spaces on there and see what kind of what we're dealing with. I'm pretty sure that I can get some templates made up just out of paper, just to see what kind of space I'm dealing with. It is a good long distance car, to be honest. Obviously, as I mentioned, the heating system is a bit ropey. Apart from that and the brakes, yeah, it's good, I promise. So I did 550 miles. I spent £233 on fuel. That is obviously on super unleaded. I have to run this thing on super because it's, you know, 1995, so it runs on older fuel systems, and also it was mapped originally to super unleaded, so I like to kind of keep it on that. So £233, an average is about 134 litres. I didn't clock exactly the amount of litres that I put in, but I think it averages at about 134 litres at £1.72 or £1.73 per litre. Fuel's expensive at the moment. 134 litres is 29.47 gallons. Now that's UK gallons. I believe our gallons are slightly different to American gallons, so I will go to that one shortly. So 29.47 gallons at 550 miles is 18.6 miles per gallon, which is horrendous. I didn't think it would quite be that bad, to be honest. It's sort of in Ferrari territory. But anyway, what can you do? That's the price you pay for having these sort of interesting cars, and also bigger injectors, things like that. You know, the Larry cams, it's to be expected. For the Americans out there, it was about 35.4 US gallons, which works out at 15.5 miles per gallon. It is amazing to drive. The journey, especially down the Black Mountain Pass, was incredible, seeing the views, seeing all the cars going up and down. So it would be good to go back there at some point and spend a little bit more time there. Obviously it was only a fleeting visit going through there on the way back. So anyway, that's about it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to subscribe. If you don't, then don't bother. See you soon.